How immunity helps you. Well, if you don't know by now, I'll reiterate this. Immunity is your best friend. Those of you that are lonely and think you don't have any friends, I promise you, you have a whole lot of friends. And they're called eosinophils and basophils and neutrocytes and grandocytes. And we're going to talk about those. And we're going to show you where all of those came from, which is magic in itself. But your immune system is powerfully important. You see up there at the top, that's a stem cell. You all know about stem cells because they're making money on them now. You wouldn't know a thing about them if they weren't making money. But guess what? This is one of the areas you're making money on that has a lot of promise. It's going to be one of the most important areas of mainstream allopathic medicine and complementary healthcare, progressive healthcare as we do here, which is the most advanced at Hippocrates. We've been using stem cell therapy here for about 15 years at Hippocrates. Our partners are some of the most cutting edge doctors on the planet Earth. And we have people that are really, really sick and we're not sure that they're going to make it quick enough just with lifestyle that engages and builds that immune system. We intervene with actual stem cell therapy. Now today, exosomes and other things have become really, really important and easier to access, and we're learning a lot more about it. I think we're probably somewhere in about second grade now when it comes to this. And we really will get to high school probably in 10 years, and we'll be in college in 20 years, and 30 years from now, we're going to have our graduate degrees in it. And then it's going to be a real science by the middle of the 21st century. So let's go down from that stem cell there at the top. And myeloid cells are down and lymphoid cells are next. Then we go down as you start to see. And the most important when it starts to manifest, the real soldiers, the machivo soldiers of the immune function. It's eosinophils, basophils, neutrocytes, monocytes. And then look over there to the opposite of them. You have T cells and B cells, plasma cells ultimately, and macrophage cells at the bottom. Now this is in every one of your body, and you have trillions, not billions, trillions of these cells. You have 100 billion cells in your brain alone, and they can be affected by what you breathe, be it chemical, be it a heavy metal, be it malnourishment, and most important, what affects the human brain and your mentality is lack of water, dehydration. So hydration of the brain. Why is it so pinnacle? Because 80% of your brain is water versus 70% of your body. Pretty important how your cells develop. They come from an invisible stem cell, which is like a beautiful cell. It just says, hey, whatever you want me to do, I'm going to do. And it does it proficiently, consistently, and always. And let's go back to what we said previously. What about if you have drunk cells? What about if your innate first line of defense and your adaptive immune system are not quite doing their job? Well, it doesn't matter how perky and ready to do great work the wonderful little stem cell is, somewhere along this roadway, it's going to start to falter. And that's what's happened to the human race today. Again, all of us that live in the most chemically saturated places in the world with the highest technology are the sickest. And now that is pervasive globally. It's spreading like wildfire throughout the globe. And this is something we can change. We're going to get to that in a minute. And let's look at the entire activation of your immune response. I want you to know what it really should be doing. Your immune response, the innate response called the adaptive immune system, basically is the most important of all. And when you start to look at that on your screen, we go to inflammation. And everyone talks about inflammation. The alternative doctors impress you incorrectly, by the way, by telling you every disease is an inflammatory problem. That's wrong. Inflammation comes from poor lifestyle choices. That's it. Poor lifestyle choices are where inflammation comes from. So let's get rid of the inflammation part of it, which is really, really important. Inflammation is a really good sign. A really, really good sign. It actually says your immune system is functioning at least at some level. If it's really, really, really active, it's doing a great job. If it's sort of moderate, it's doing a moderate job. And if it's not doing so well, you're not going to get much inflammation. So what we've made evil is actually representation of a functional immune system. Inflammation is highly important with its role within the immune system. When tissue or damaged tissue basically requires being cleaned up by the immune system cells, our body's inflammatory response mobilizes the immune system. However, the information that these cells are equipped with to combat disease dictates much of the outcome.